Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We send peace and blessings upon our beloved messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his family, upon his companions, and all of those who follow them until the end of time. I hope everybody's doing great, and it's great to see people happy and together, and mashallah, really dressed for success. Mashallah. It's great that we're here in a state of comfort, and Allah has blessed us to kind of be in a very wholesome environment, very relaxing. But one of the things I think that makes the ICNYU unique is that it's not just about being in comfortable spaces. And that's really how we walk through prophetic fire, as Dr. West likes to talk about, that prophecy is found with the poor. Prophecy lies with illiteracy, right? Prophecy lies being in a cave and thinking about the social conditions of the people around you. Prophecy isn't just feeling comfortable. A person came to Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, I want to follow you. And he said, really? You want to follow me? It's not like how we follow people now online or on our phones. Following back then came with kind of responsibility. So he said, you need to be careful what you say. And then he said, no, but I really want to follow you. He said, then prepare for poverty. Right? You're going to have to give up something. Some scholars said it means be prepared to be impoverished to Allah. You'll be rich by being with me, but a different type of richness. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we know great people like Imam Zainul Abidin, alayhi salam. In the Sunni tradition, when he died, the request for zakat rose in his neighborhood exponentially. So people ask, the government sent people to ask, why are suddenly people in this area asking for zakat? They said, لَقَدْ مَاتَ الشَّيْخ قَدْ مَاتَ الْإِمَامِ. They said the Imam died, he used to employ us. So it's not just enough to be like awliya in the masjid. Anyone can be a wali of Allah in the masjid. But how many of us can be a wali of Allah on the A train? Or on the C? Or God forbid the R. It's so slow. Right? But that's really where the test is. And for that reason, I think that ICNYU continues to take on trip to Palestine, supporting the Rohingya. Last year, you raised a tremendous amount of money for battered and abused women, right? That's where prophecy lies. It doesn't just lie, in opulence and comfort. So may Allah bless all of you for being allies to people who really need help. And we live in New York City that tends to mask very conveniently the realities of many people. So for that reason, I'm honored to present an award tonight to CLEAR, Creating Law Enforcement Accountability and Responsibility. They did this in 2009, man. It wasn't easy to do this in 2009. People weren't woke yet, right? People were still in a coma. And what CLEAR does here with CUNY is focus on 3 areas which are absolutely important. Number 1 is making sure that Muslims, South Asians, and Arabs have access to free legal consultation. I came back from Egypt. I'm a white American, but I was broke when I came back from Egypt. And immediately when I landed, I received a phone call from some weird sounding white guy that wasn't my cousin. And then he was like, we want to talk to you. We just want to meet for coffee. Fred bin Isa, we say FBI. And then I could not afford legal consultation. I called this lawyer who was on Pacifica Radio. He sounded cool on Pacifica Radio. He was woke. But then when he quoted me how much a consultation was, I was like, I'm just going to have to either meet these guys or say no. Luckily, some Muslims directed me to something very similar. In one phone call, I never was called again. So legal consultation is really, when I visited Auschwitz many years ago, the first thing I asked one of the Jewish people there, who was in his 90s, is what happened. He said they killed the lawyers. So we should never underestimate their importance. Second thing that they do is they provide Know Your Rights campaigns. Many people just don't know their rights. And what you don't know, you don't know. And the last thing, and this is crucial as we move into 2020, and we see the expanding network of now who's going to fill, we saw this week the FBI is going to expand who they investigate and put on terrorist watch lists, protecting people and guiding people who are involved in the crucial issue of community organizing. So Brother Qasim, Ramzi Qasim is here, great family. We want to thank you for what you do. We want to give you this award, inshallah, on behalf of the ICNYU. To our brothers and sisters, a clear barakallahu feekum. Tafaddal. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I wanted to start by thanking Sheikh Suhaib and everyone else. My name is Ramzi Qasim. I'm a professor at the City University of New York School of Law. And I'm one of the many law students, attorneys, staff, and CUNY law students and faculty members as well, who you saw up here on stage with me, who work in the CLEAR project. I wanted to start with a story tonight. Some years ago, 4 young Muslim men walked in at CLEAR, separately from each other, but within the same period of time. They were all US citizens or permanent residents who had made their lives here. But they all had families overseas in Pakistan and Afghanistan and Yemen. And even though they did not know one another, the accounts they gave the CLEAR law students and the attorneys who met with them were remarkably similar. FBI agents had tried to recruit them as informants to spy on the American Muslim communities that they were a part of. The agents wanted these men to infiltrate masajid. They wanted them to go online and quote-unquote act extremist. And they wanted them to repeat what was being said in the quote-unquote Desi community. These were the words of the FBI agents, not my own. Our clients refused because spying on innocent fellow Muslims went against their religious beliefs. Our clients were then placed or kept on the no-fly list, and the FBI agents later told all of them that if they agreed to become spies, they would once again be able to fly. As a result of all of this, one of our clients was unable to see his wife and their young children for many years in Yemen. Another could not visit his ailing father and his 91-year-old grandmother who had raised him in Pakistan. And the third lost his job as a long-haul truck driver because all of a sudden he could no longer fly back to New York after completing his delivery runs. These men came to CLEAR, and eventually we sued the FBI, as well as the individual agents, the 24 individual FBI agents, who placed these men on the no-fly list to coerce them into becoming spies against their own Muslim communities. Days before our first major court appearance, the government lawyer called, and she said, all of your clients have been removed from the no-fly list, they can now fly, and she asked if we would, or if they would agree to dismiss their case. Once our clients confirmed that they were indeed able to fly again and they could board planes, they agreed to drop the part of the case that asked the court to order the government to take them off the list because they were already off the list. But our clients decided to press on with the remaining claims. These were claims for money damages against the individual FBI agents, the 24 agents, to make up for everything that our clients endured over those years on the no-fly list. The district court sided with the agents and ruled that our clients could not sue individual agents for damages. We appealed that. The Court of Appeals reversed the lower court's decision and agreed with our clients that they should be able to sue the agents for damages out of their own pockets. And then the Trump administration, after some hesitation, got the Supreme Court to take up the case, and oral argument will be heard next month in March. This will be the first Supreme Court case involving the rights of Muslims under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. But the problem that these CLEAR clients faced, and frankly are still bravely fighting, are not isolated, they're not unique. And a quick show of hands, probably even in this room, will prove that. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. I want you to raise your hand if you or someone you know has had the FBI, the NYPD, and other law enforcement agency show up at their home, show up at their workplace, show up at their place of worship to ask questions. So look around. I'm going to ask you a few more questions. Raise your hand if you or someone you know has been profiled, interrogated, or searched in a debasing or humiliating way at an airport by TSA or by customs. I'm going going to ask you to raise your hand again if you or someone you know has been affected by Trump's Muslim bans, either the original one in 2017 or the more recent ones affecting our Shia brothers and sisters and our African brothers and sisters. So a lot of hands are going up in this room. And finally, raise your hand if you or someone you know has had an application for naturalization delayed or an application for a visa for their relative delayed for a loved one indefinitely. So these problems are not unique, and unfortunately we've all experienced them directly or indirectly. Every person who raised their hand was bearing witness to the collective lived experience of American Muslims. Every hand that went up is a reason for CLEAR to exist and resist the sprawling security state in this country. Those are the reasons that have driven the work of the CLEAR students and attorneys and staff that you saw up here on stage with me, and all of their many predecessors since 2009, when CLEAR was launched 10 years ago. The people you saw with me on stage and their predecessors have tirelessly facilitated hundreds of Know Your Rights workshops in scores of mosques and MSAs, schools, community centers, and activist circles across the 5 boroughs of our city and beyond. Dana, for example, who's a second-year law student, last year she was up here on stage with me. Last night, she was running a rights awareness workshop at a masjid in Brooklyn after Maghrib with a team of her CLEAR colleagues. At any hour of the day and night, you might find them or another team from CLEAR at a Yemeni-owned bodega, an Islamic bookshop, even at a Muslim intramural league basketball court, if memory serves. They've represented hundreds of clients. They've appeared in federal immigration courts, visited prisons and jails, from the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn to the immigration detention facilities in New Jersey. And they've dealt with NYPD detectives and FBI agents of every single stripe imaginable in representing their clients. So I wanted to share with you some of the questions that these agents have asked our clients at CLEAR. And I promise you I'm not making any of this up. Are you Sunni or Shia? What do you think of the war in Syria? If I bring you a computer, can you show me where all the terrorist groups are? What do you think about the Muslim ban? Now mind you, that was asked to a client who was bearing the brunt of the Muslim ban. If Pakistan and the United States faced off in cricket, who would win? The agent who came up with that one probably thought it was a very subtle loyalty test. Why are you reading Quran out loud at Panera? Which might actually be a fair question in all honesty. You know what? Why would anyone go to Panera? And this is my personal favorite. What level of Muslim are you? To which our client maybe too cleverly replied, me? Oh, I'm a black belt. So CLEAR's work has been rooted in this collective American Muslim experience of criminalization, surveillance, and exclusion. It's been a labor of love, fueled by the passion and devotion of the people who you saw on stage, and their many predecessors who are not in the room with us tonight. Importantly, their work is inspired by the courage and resilience of our clients and the communities we serve, communities that include this one. For many of us at CLEAR, the IC is a home. It is a privilege for us to support the IC by collaborating on Know Your Rights workshops here, by representing members of the larger IC community whenever there's a need. And it is really the most humbling of privileges to receive this honor at the IC tonight. We're really grateful to Imam Khalid, to Sheikh Fayyaz, to Sheikh Suhaib, to Sister Amira, Sister Nur al-Hana, and there are many people who I'm not naming and I'm forgetting, and please forgive me. But we're grateful to them for their leadership and for thinking to honor CLEAR in this way. We're also grateful for the unique community that they've helped mold over the years here at the IC, a community that we urge everyone in this room to continue to sustain and support in every way possible, inshallah. Please come talk to us afterwards. We'd love to get to know you, and if you're thinking about law school, then better yet, come to CUNY and join CLEAR. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.